Alright, hi people. Welcome back to the replay of LEGO Marvel's Superheroes.
Won't be easy with this mess they left behind.
So yeah, I took a break in between the last part and this one. They're gonna repeat, or they repeated the dialogue just a little bit. Let's see. To target silver objects. Characters who use bows and arrows are, I don't know. In, like, LEGO games.
I'm sure they won't mind if we trash the place a little more.
Why is she still over there?
Another day, another cleanup.
Oh yeah, this has been a thing since, like, I think LEGO Indiana Jones 2. For some, like, early on in, like, LEGO games, they had it so both men and women could jump twice, but for some reason, I think...
You want me to pick up your dry cleaning, too?
Or it might have been LEGO Batman, now that I think about it. For some reason, after, like, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, they just, they changed it so only the female characters can jump twice for some reason. I think that's a little sexist.
The way I see it, anything happens, I could always try to make it as a janitor.
And it's just like, if it's not sexist, it's just weird. Especially for, like, acrobatic male characters in these games.
Looks like that booth scans for employees.
Shouldn't be a problem for you, right?
Within the Oscorp building's high-security perimeter, Norman Osborn's labs undertake secretive research into radical new chemical and genetic technologies.
You know, it's really funny. For the LEGO Avengers game that came out, like, 2 years after this, Maria Hill was still voiced by Kobe Smulders, but here she's voiced by a different actress entirely. It's really funny because for the LEGO Avengers game, they reuse a lot of the assets from this game. Specifically, like, character models and shit. Like that. Makes sense, because the character models from this game are heavily based on the MCU, so that makes sense, but I don't know.
Where did Green Goblin go?
Don't worry, the Goblin will be waiting for us.
Proceed with caution. We need to find him and that cosmic brick.
Oh yeah. I'm playing this before the, literally the day before the No Way Home trailer is supposed to come out. Or it's been, like, rumored to come out. I should say the day of, because technically it's, like, 2 in the morning. But, yellow, red, blue. That's easy as shit. But, I've been, like, wrestling in my head if they do live action, like, Spider-Verse stuff, and then possibly also, you know, maybe cross it over with the animated Spider-Verse stuff in the future, which you just know Sony's gonna make happen. Especially if they're wanting to cross over shit with the Sony universe of Marvel characters, is what it's called. With shit like, Venom, and the upcoming, like, Morbius and I think Sinister Six movies that they're working on. And the upcoming second Venom movie. But, since Spider-Verse was, a big hit, and a lot of crossover Spidey stuff has been pretty consistently popular for, actually since the 90s, because I don't know how many people actually remember this, besides me, probably a lot of other fans of, the 90s Spider-Man series, but, technically, the last, I think it was 2 episodes, maybe it was 4, either way, the last however many episodes of that series, was, a really cool, like, multi-universal crossover event with Spider-Man of the 90s series and his alternate counterparts from a bunch of different dimensions. And, honestly, that was actually really cool. I liked it for the most part. I thought it was pretty well done, even though it was a little fast-paced, but that's 90s Spider-Man in a nutshell. Just good overall, just a bit fast-paced in places. But if they continue to do crossover stuff, especially in live action, yellow, red, blue. But if they continue to do live action crossover stuff, I would actually love if they could cross over the live action Spider-Man movies with maybe the Spider-Man PS4 characters from that game series.
Coming through!
Because they did Spider-Geddon, and they did feature
Security breach detected. Emergency protocol.
the PS4 Spider-Man
That's not good.
in that series, in that miniseries. And
This might require some extra muscle power.
and
Need a lift, guys?
and everything. And that would actually be really cool if they could get
Possible laboratory
John
confirmed
Bubniak
by big
or Ben
explosion.
Jordan
Please direct
and
your
Yuri
hands
Lowenthal
within
to
running
all be in it.
dangerous exit.
What would also
Attacked with an elevator? That's wrong on so many
do that,
levels.
or have like Yuri Lowenthal play like an older Spidey, have him appear on screen, which would be nice. That would be awesome. Have John Bubniak play a version of Spider-Man, and then have Ben Jordan play the, obviously dubbed over by Yuri Lowenthal. Have Ben Jordan play the PS4 Spidey, because that would honestly be really, really cool. Again, he'd have to be dubbed over by Yuri Lowenthal, but other than that, that would be awesome.
My Spidey sense something close by.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool as well, as if they could get John Bubniak back as well, playing a version of maybe the PS4 Spidey, I don't know. And have him and Ben Jordan's Spider-Man interact. That would honestly be really cool. That'd be funny. Maybe have them both be dubbed over by Yuri Lowenthal.
Give up the cosmic brick, Goblin. Game's over.
Oh, it's just begun, web brain. Catch me if you can.
What are you doing, scientist, dude? I actually kind of like Spider-Man's combat a little bit in this game. Like, it's no PS4 Spidey or even the Amazing Spider-Man games, but in terms of combat complexity, but it's still good. Especially when you can jump up in the air and just shoot webs. That's honestly really cool. How do I shot webs? Oh my god, it's Alfred Molina. Dr. Octagonopus.
Triggering the lasers. There must be a way to get past.
I'm sorry, but you three don't seem to have the proper visitor passes. Dude, I'll be on my way shortly.
Wow. Getting a visitor pass around here
Okay.
is grueling.
So that's Nolan North as Green Goblin.
This stinks.
Goblin and the cosmic brick will have to wait. We need to get out of this place.
Shut down the things on the control. Whatever the fuck. I can't remember the line from Star Wars. Venom. Oh yeah, and then as a really cool thing, I imagine Insomniac will probably patch the No Way Home suit into at least the PS5 remaster of the 2018 game. That would honestly be really good. Well, actually, no, suits, plural. There are multiples. As revealed by the toys. Because, you know, the MCU is controlled by Hasbro, and Hasbro has to reveal toys way too fucking early. They already have all of the MCU suits currently in that game, so that would be really, really cool. thing is as well for the sequel to that game, the full sequel. I would love if they could port over all the suit data from the first game, because I can't imagine that would be too hard to do. Like, it would obviously take some work, but like, because, you know, making video games is not entirely easy. But like, I would love if they would just do that. I imagine they will, but we'll see. It'd be weird if they didn't, honestly.
Spidey sense. Something close by. My spider sense is tingling.
In fact, if they could get all of the Spider-Man voice actors to be in a whole fucking Spider-Man live action or even animated, realistically, Spider-Verse, that would be awesome. Oh yeah, and Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions were also really good, like, crossover Spider-Man things. Some people don't like Edge of Time. I think, personally, I think in terms of storytelling, and I think I've said this before, I think Edge of Time beats out Shattered Dimensions in regards to story complexity and everything.
Oh, great. Looks just like symbiote goo.
But in regards to, like, just overall fun and everything, I think Shattered Dimensions probably has Edge of Time beat. Although the gameplay of Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions is kind of aged like milk. Ooh, did not intend that. I would love if they could incorporate something like that into the next standalone Spider-Man game, just a web whip. Wait, is Doctor Strange in this game? I can't remember.
Hey, don't see you.
Like I said, in most of these games, the ally AI is a crapshoot for no reason. Why do you keep going back down, you idiot?
impress me.
What happened here? The whole lab's been abandoned.
Then also I have other thoughts on like Spider-Man movies, future Spider-Man movies. If they could get the Russos and the people who wrote Infinity War and Endgame to helm a future Spider-Man movie, if not a future Spider-Man trilogy, like they did the last two Captain America movies and then the last two Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame, and Winter Soldier and Civil War, I would love... I think we would get the best, like, Spider-Man trilogy in existence, because, they get Spider-Man. They genuinely get Spider-Man. The fucking 15 to 20 minutes that Spider-Man was in Civil War alone should tell you that. They get Spider-Man. They love Spider-Man as well. And, like, I will go to bat for this shit. Civil War, the appearance in Civil War was the best live-action Spider-Man shit we've ever gotten, even beating out the Raimi movies. And this Civil War convinced me that Tom Holland was a good pick for Spider-Man. And he's still a good pick. He does good with what he's given for his roles and everything. But I don't even think his standalone movies have gotten like the level of care that the scenes in Civil War that he was in got, honestly. In all honesty, I don't hate Homecoming, but like it does have, I think it's like the best of the MCU Spider-Man movies thus far. We'll see what happens when No Way Home comes out. But Homecoming was definitely the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. And then Far From Home is okay. I have way too many problems with its writing mainly. Oh yeah, the fact that there's no wall crawling, except for in marked places, really bothers me, but okay. Yeah, and the fact that they make Peter really dumb in that movie, like, that whole film's, like, plot is what TV Tropes refers to as an idiot plot. Because the only way the narrative progresses most of the time in that movie is when the characters make stupid or just outright brain-dead decisions, boneheaded decisions. And it really sucks, like, because, I don't know. It's kind of like the second Amazing Spider-Man movie. Most of the shit that happens in that movie happens because the characters make stupid decisions. Or act irrationally. Which, here's the thing, for some characters that can be fine, but, like, you shouldn't have every character act like that. But, like, Far From Home has things that I genuinely really like about it. It's just, the other things don't, or the other things, like, genuinely just outweigh the good in that movie, for me, a lot of the time. The thing is, as well, that I have with the MCU movies is the fact that they just refuse to acknowledge Uncle Ben for no fucking reason. Like, I understand that they don't want to repeat the whole origin aspect of Spider-Man, because, like, Sony literally did 2 origin movies within the span of 10 years with the Sam Raimi movies, and then And the Sam Raimi movies did rely a lot on Spider-Man's origins for them to work. And then the first Mark Webb film retreaded a lot of the origin. That's
Power restored to caution advised.
that
Restored the what? Never
they
did
covered in the
anything
first
for
Raimi movie and everything, and they cover a lot in Spider-Man media with new iterations of the character. And people were like, people didn't want a retread of the origin story because of that. But I think people really can really too easily dismiss can really like dismiss Uncle Ben and a lot of the other shit. There's this British dude who started out mainly as a Spider-Man channel with Channel Pup. He is a hardcore just apologist for MCU Spider-Man, and in my opinion, shitheaded decisions that like the writers and producers made for those movies.
Coming out of the walls!
And everything. And it's just like, I don't know. And this is like no shade to him because I think he's a good guy, but like I think he way too easily can change his opinions with not a lot of provocation. Well, granted, I get it, but like he changed his mind on at least the first Mark Webb movie. After seeing, I think, someone else's review of it that was positive, because he did an initial review of both those movies where they weren't that positive. And like, I don't know, then he re-reviewed them. And to me, it just kind of felt like he was, like he couldn't, like, keep an opinion. I don't know. Or he just couldn't acknowledge that he has, or that he could have nuanced opinions. You know? Or maybe not nuanced, but like, he couldn't just, I don't know. Because it's really weird. Because in the re-review itself that he has for the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, he kind of like makes it seem like that was his only review of that movie when he made a review that came out weeks before, and then he just changed his opinion. But yeah, he's a hardcore apologist for a lot of the bullshit decisions that the MCU makes for Spider-Man, and I'm not here for it. And what I mean is, like, he'll really, really go to bat to defend the MCU's decision to completely just be afraid to mention Uncle Ben, as if it's like some sort of taboo to do it. And it's just like, the point of people mentioning that the MCU doesn't mention Uncle Ben is the fact that, Uncle Ben is a very, very big part of Spider-Man's origins, and a lot of people just come to both expect and actually want to see Uncle Ben as part of Spider-Man's origins and everything. And here's my thing about it. You don't need to have Uncle Ben
Did you see it freak out because of
portrayed
the loud
within
noise?
the story to
It's all right.
establish that he's in the universe. And some people will be like, and including him, they're just like, oh, his initials are on set dressings or on props. Like a suitcase that he had, Peter uses in Homecoming for his trip. It's just like, oh, a thing that you don't notice easily. Yay. I didn't remember this. Yeah, oh, a prop for the movie that's a suitcase. That definitely gets me to forgive the fact
Seems like
that
the source of the problem.
they're way too afraid to mention Uncle Ben within the MCU for some reason. Nice. And it's just like, in Civil War they did allude to Uncle Ben, which is nice, but like, in the standalone movies they don't do it whatsoever, and it makes no sense to me as to why. And here's my thing about it. In my opinion, Homecoming has done a bit of a disservice. The climax of Homecoming, or not climax, before the climax, the rising action and shit of Homecoming is done a very heavy disservice to not either wanting to or being unable to mention Uncle Ben. Because, in my opinion, I don't think that Peter should be 100% just being influenced by Tony Stark. I don't think that does his character that much justice. Tony Stark can be an influence in his life, but he shouldn't be the main influence, and he shouldn't be where he's getting some of his moral. The moral that that Peter got from Tony Stark in Homecoming should have been instilled in him in Uncle Ben anyways. And then
Flame scared him off.
here's the thing though, I don't necessarily mind if Peter...
You know, for a totally legitimate...
And unsuspicious
on.
office tower. This place is surprisingly disgusting.
You said it.
I think that's all of them. No.
I see him. We always love running into you, Spider-Man. What a tangled web we weave. And Spider-Man, our rejector, you've brought along a few friends for us to play with.
Guys, meet Venom. Venom, the guys. Well, one's a girl.
Yet. We are.
But to let's get back to what I was saying about the rising action shit of Homecoming. I don't necessarily mind if Peter may get it so up in his head that he just forgets with great power comes great responsibility credo that Uncle Ben instilled into him. It's weird that he forgets it, but okay. People will forget that stuff sometimes, especially in the heat of the moment. I can completely understand that. What I don't understand, though, is why the movie, because they flat out refuse to acknowledge Uncle Ben in the MCU, why exactly they they don't have Peter look at a picture of Uncle Ben or seeing something that reminds him of Uncle Ben.
We're going to save you till
So he remembers with great power comes great responsibility. And he says, sorry, I neglected
Is that the best
your most important lesson, Uncle Ben.
We're only just getting started.
Literally, that was all they needed, and the movie would just be 10 times better for it. I mean, I think I made that point in my my Homecoming review on my main channel, but I need that to be said again. Like, in my personal opinion, I think that the movie did a very major disservice to Peter's character and his character arc as a result of not mentioning Uncle Ben in that instance. That would have been fine. They wouldn't have had to retread the origin. They would just have to. That would just be a reminder to the audience. That's similar to what the 2018 game did, and people love the 2018 game. You know? And the 2018 game didn't make constant references, or it didn't retread the origin at all. It picks up with Peter 8 years after he became Spider-Man, and
Swinging into action.
they acknowledge that Uncle Ben is a thing, but they don't have it dominate Peter's superheroics of life or whatever, you know? I don't know, it's just something that I think could have massively improved Homecoming by a lot. If it turns out that there's a deleted scene where they did do that, but just didn't put it in the movie for whatever reason, I'll forgive them a bit, but I'm gonna be pissed. And they just didn't include it on the Blu-ray, just imagine. Building this shit.
My spider sense again. What is it?
Oh yeah, there was a tweet several weeks prior to me replaying this game, on Twitter, obviously, and it was someone saying that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was an asshole because in the first Sam Raimi movie he says to Bonesaw, That's a cute outfit. Did your husband
Green Goblin, come on!
get it for you? And it's just like, that's, for one, that's just shit talk between a teenager and a 30 to 40-year-old wrestling dude played by Randy Savage.
I knew I should have packed my anti-goblin arrows.
Legolas! Ha! Can you and the other Avengers track him down? I gotta do dishes, homework, explain to my girlfriend why I am always leaving her waiting at coffee places. I mean, my life is really hard.
Bro. Oh yeah, I re-downloaded DLC too. I, for some reason, I guess didn't have it downloaded. Oh yeah, Peter making that comment when he was, I think in the story, supposed to be like 15 or 16 in the first Sam Raimi movie. Him making that comment to Bonesaw was literally just to shit talk him. On top of that, he only does it the once. Like, I don't know. Yeah, guys, gonna pause here and continue in the next one.